Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Not Imperial Day, what the bloody hell? My apologies right there, but nonetheless, good day. In fact, I probably wanted to say that for some reason right in the middle of everything, but enough about that. It is the Monday novice fight. Yes, indeed, we're going to see some novices fighting, of course. I did receive some critique after last Monday's novice fight. Apparently that was a bit too novice. In fact, apparently I'm a bit unsure how to gauge it. What do people actually want to see novicing? Do they want to see people who can't even grasp the basics, seem to be having a lot of trouble with that and sort of completely slugging out? Or do they want to see some they do know the basics, but it's more of the sort of operational things, it's sort of more basic and strategic, where they're sort of novices unsure of how to sort of get beyond the basics. I mean, if that's the thing, of course, let me know in the comments. That's why they're there. And of course, if again we want to see something a bit more raw in it, and perhaps just something a bit more, another segment, another level of the novices, perhaps the more intermediate casts, I suppose, then I'll try and look into that. Of course, trouble is, always getting the cast for it. But then again, got a huge bunch of casts last week. I mean, over 20, perhaps close to 30, and certainly there's a bunch of them, although I have to take some of them out because in fact longer than 1 hour, and that's causing a whole bunch of trouble, I'm afraid. Long upload times, and Windows Movie Maker apparently decides it really gets funny when it decides to get that long, in which case it might suddenly decide a segment all out of randomly is not good enough. So yeah, I try to stick around the 40-minute max, perhaps 50-minute if it's really good, but 1 hour I might have to be careful there. So there you go. But nonetheless, we're going to be seeing not completely raw, but both players got a good grasp of the basics. They've got some good ideas, but it's sort of moving beyond that, which might cause some trouble, some of the more broader ideas, I suppose. So let's try to get a look at it. Of course, we are seeing Angoville, and we will be seeing the Wehrmacht, northern corner Donatello of the 91st Luftlande division, former air glider division turned into regular infantry division. Opposing them shall be Noobito. Yes, indeed, for the novice Monday fight, we're seeing someone who has gently called himself Noobito versus Donatello. Yes, two Italian-sounding names, I suppose, but nonetheless fighting for the Americans, the 90th Infantry Division, a bit of a place where all the worst of the American forces pretty much, dumped all their worst conscripts, all the worst troops, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Bit of a high from Noobito, and in fact we have big gun barracks going up, so at least, yes, again, they're sort of decent around level 10. So that should give some idea. Of course, they're not going to be high veterans, victors of many thousands battles, millions people dead beneath their jackboots or regular American army boots, but there you go. Looks like we will be seeing a dual engineer and pioneer start from either side. Both pioneers working hard on the Wehrmacht quarters. Barracks up, riflemen on the way. American commander spreading out his forces to either side. So far so good. Looks like the pioneers are apparently completely ignoring the entire western half, instead focusing rather severely on the east. That's a bit more unusual. Again, most Wehrmacht players on Angoville actually prefer the western half because, again, much more open terrain. It's a lot easier for them to defend, and of course get some good effort out of their MG42s and their PaK-38. This part rather makes it a lot difficult, in particular the southern part, because if you suddenly have an M8 there, you somehow have to sneak your PaK-38 up here, in which case it could easily get outmaneuvered or the M8 runs away. Hooray! MG42 out as the first unit from the Wehrmacht quarters. Pioneers going straight for the fuel point right there, while others are securing the rear areas. Riflemen ready, heading towards here, apparently securing this strategic point right away. The MG42 advancing slowly for the Vaterland. Machine Gewehr 42, main MG of the Wehrmacht by this stage of the war. There was also the MG34, which was still being produced, I imagine. Though it wasn't quite as effective, it was also harder to maintain. Didn't have quite the same rate of fire and other things. Of course, harder to produce, more expensive. And riflemen getting stopped right in their tracks, and good movement right there, retreating immediately. MG42 putting a stop to that. Yank attack. And yes, I seem to have a bit of a cold. And getting some infantry right after that. That's good, although I don't prefer having an MG42 as a start, but then again, that's just me. I'm not going to say that's completely rubbish or a novice move, though it can easily end up badly if you place it a bit unfortunately. Engineers securing the victory point, and oh dear, they might get the drop on that MG42. There we go. Engineers moving in with their grease guns. MG42 setting up, well, not quite in time. Support gunners firing away. Engineers also joining in a bit of fun, but the engineers are simply getting slaughtered by the MG42 gunners. Now Volksgunners are arriving, oh dear. And riflemen moving in for the flank. MG42 pulling back. Volksgunners spotting this, and of course the MG42 will need to set up to put a stop to this. And the riflemen are going straight for the MG42, hoping to catch it before it sets up. But no, they stop right in the middle of everything. No. And they just barely manage to flank further riflemen moving in, but they get stopped by the MG42 and suppressed. And the riflemen are simply getting torn apart by the MG42 support gunners and the Volksgunners. Rather unfortunate there. A close attempt at really sealing the deal here and knocking out that MG42 permanently, but didn't quite succeed. A second MG42 moving in. And further riflemen on the way from Noobito. And Volksgunners and some pioneers heading down towards here. MG42's one setting up to cover the large, vast field. The other one sort of standing about near a pile of firewood. Whatever is in his mind. Second one, or first one packing up, moving outwards. Will this one be setting up to cover this area then? And apparently he's firing off this area. I'm not entirely sure why. Perhaps he's hoping to sort of prevent the American from moving in there, or from moving through here. A lot of possibilities, though I'm not entirely sure what he's actually intending. Riflemen going through here in the north, seizing what they can from the west, as the Wehrmacht secures what they can from these laying down mines. Donatello clearly has a plan to secure this area for the fatherland. Rather aggressive defensive posture, but Volksgunners is getting caught out by riflemen. Will the Volksgunners quickly get into the building, or will the riflemen win the race? Apparently the riflemen do win the race, leaving the Volksgunners out in the open in a position that is less than helpful for them. Volksgunners could get... Yes, there we go, another Volksgunner down. They will have to get out of there most swiftly. MG42 covering. Another one here. Further Volksgunners arriving from the 91st Luftlande Division base. And some munitions being secured there. American commander swiftly securing most of the map, in fact, although he's losing some right here in the southern, right next to his base. And running straight into the MG42 rifleman, awfully wounded, one down, 2, 3, oh dear. And the rifleman trying to flank through most courageously, instead hit a mine. Rather good move there by Donatello in laying down the mines. And more barbed wire from the Volksgunners. My goodness, Donatello really has some sort of plan wiring off this area. He's really keen on getting these 2 victory points, and of course also a straight path directly to his opponent's base, I wager. This is certainly a rather good plan, and of course it also involves basically designating this as his strong point, i.e. this is the point he wants to focus the main assets of his force. That's where he wants to be operating, that's what he wants to be holding at all costs. This is pretty much useless to him. He'll let the opponent to hold that, but he wants this. And that of course is a good thing. I mean, it's a good strategic decision to basically be able to say, I want this part of the map, no matter the cost. And of course I'll do my best to bloody well hold it. I've got an idea, I want sort of to hold it. And of course, good use of barbed wire, good use of sandbags, of course, good thing for a Monday novice fight to sort of focus on. And of course, rather than one reason I wanted to use it. I'm not saying these of course are complete dopes that don't know how to play the game. I mean, they both got good ideas, but it's sort of the greater execution there might be some problems in. And there we go, cutting through with the engineers. Volksgunners MG42 trying to stop it, but the engineers sneak away and pop into the house and might scorch those Volksgunners by the tractor. There we go. Opening the windows and heading out. Beautiful fire. MG42 turning about to open up on the engineers inside. Riflemen moving in to stop. Yes, indeed, flanking the MG42 while it's occupied. Now it's turning again. Engineers getting out to flank. Good move, aggressive, nice. This is what we like to see. But now we are seeing defensive doctrine for the fatherland, extolling the virtues of don't die, you stupid German krauts. Well, glorious German soldiers. And the engineers desperately try. Riflemen moving in, but of course for the fatherland protects them. Partly in terms of damage taken, but also makes them harder to hit. So far nothing from the Krieg barracks. That's not usually what you see. Riflemen forced to retreat right past here. And hitting a mine on the retreat. At least that's the best way you can actually hit it. The Volksgunners moving towards the west to do a bit of harassment perhaps. And the Pioneers having to lay down some fresh mines there after those silly Americans put down. And a medic station, my goodness, that's actually what we like to see. Good move there, Noobito, a medic station to really keep up the fight in the long run. Supply yard up, medic station, trio center up, and now a weapon support, and that's quite interesting, of course, with the heavy support assets from Donatello. That's certainly not a bad idea. He might be wanting to get a mortar, perhaps, to sort of blast out the MG42s. More barbed wire from the Volksgrenadiere. Trio center being rather heavily worked on, and we will be soon seeing what will be coming out of that. 3 rifleman teams, although of course a 4th might arrive. Medic stations up, and of course again, if I'm not casting your game right away, oh, a good move there, wiring off there, so of course, and several mines, good. But of course, if I don't cast your game right away, again, I've received a lot of ones, so I don't even have time to really go through them all right away. Things might happen a bit stacked, and of course I'll still be receiving fresh ones, and of course I've got quite a few good ones as well for the next couple of days. Actually, got some quite interesting 2 versus 2 games, or at least I hope you'll find them interesting. And rather than getting the Volksgrenadiers right here out in the open, Volksgrenadiers might want to retreat, lest they find themselves with a few American bullets between their eyes. Yes, there we go, crouch on the run. More mines by Donatello, again really sort of preparing for an assault, and rather creating a bit of a buffer zone right here. Mines, wire, MG42 covering this, and of course the victory point, while the main force actually waits here, ready to react to any sort of attack. In fact, we're seeing 2 grenadier teams and a bunker. Rather the defensive stack and a static approach, and of course that's here we are seeing one of the main problems, of course, with some players of the more novice kind. You know, still experienced, but still not quite fully veterans. I mean, he goes a bit too defensive. I mean, he thinks, okay, if I go defensive, then I must resist the urge to attack my opponent. Of course, that's what a bit of a problem, of course, is, and that's rather allowing Noobito to quickly get around and counter-attack, repeatedly attack from several angles, and of course keep the pressure up on the Wehrmacht forces. Volksgrenadier is getting torn to bits right here, could be lost. In fact, if Donatello doesn't get them out, and a Volksgrenadier team down, mortar fire from the 60mm mortar team. And Grenadiers running straight into a flamethrower. Oh dear. Engineers need to get back though. Grenadiers are quite vicious troops. Grenadiers in this case, of course, representing the more veteran troops of the 91st, or at least more experienced. Mortar needs to get away. BARs being equipped, Browning automatic rifles. And of course, Donatello is of course expecting some sort of armored acid, or is he? I mean, we aren't seeing any Pack 38s. But of course, now with the mortar, he does know he has an advantage of some sort. Rifleman. Oh dear, you don't want to use this wooden heart. It basically means your troops get shot much more easily for some reason. It's wood. I mean, wood doesn't protect that much against bullets. Volksgrenadier is hanging about here. Not quite as much activity right now. Donatello does seem to be growing a bit lax. I mean, that's a bit of a problem, all these wire. Sometimes it can lead to a sort of state of mind where you actually sort of get very lazy. You sort of take it easy. And the mortar team runs straight into a mine. I have no idea why Noobito decided to send it right into front. I mean, it's a support weapon. Keep it behind your troops. And these riflemen need to get out of that wooden shack. There we go. Browning automatic in hand. Volksgrenadier is going off and trying to lay down some wire right in front of the enemy as they're getting fired upon. Bad move. Taking quite some losses. Heavy losses. In fact, Volksgrenadier could be incomplete. Oh dear, that's not good. And that was a bit of a course right here by the barbed wire. They could have run through there, but again, wire blocked it off, so they went for the other road. And good use of the mortar right there, knocking out the MG42. Sniper caught out in the open, could be killed. Good attack right there by Noobito, but sadly, of course, his forces did take a bit too heavy losses right there. And a good use for the fatherland. MG42 recruit. And the Grenadiers are ready to hold this line once more, acting as the backbone of Donatello's plans. And of course, currently they're the only infantry he actually has. Medic bunker is up though. Medics quickly pulling in those wounded from both sides. Mortar team arriving. Donatello wanting to do a bit of counter artillery, and of course Noobito, being the clever person he is, of course has pulled his mortar back, rather probably expecting that he might get counter mortared eventually. So of course, good move there. Of course, another problem one might have already imagined. Why isn't Donatello really pushing an advantage? I mean, he could have gone for, oh, I don't know, some sort of armor instead. I mean, we are seeing Noobito, who's, despite being slightly harassed, and of course that's a nice harassment move. is actually going for the armor, whereas Donatello, he holds both victory points. He actually probably held the advantage in manpower for some time against Mr. Noobito, isn't really investing into any sort of armor. He's basically still stuck with tier 2. He doesn't even have any anti-tank assets. That's not too good. German mortar firing, MG42 firing, Americans charging right through there. Apparently no attempt has been made to actually clear out this MG42 mortar, though now ready, although it might get counter-mortared by the German mortar. American mortar is the 60mm, the German mortar is the 80mm, I believe it's 8182, I can't entirely remember. Fun fact though is, of course, the Americans did have someone like that, but they were more on a battalion level. The company level was the 60mm mortar used right there. I'm not entirely sure about the Germans actually, but I believe that might actually have been their company level mortar. The battalion level mortar would have actually been a much heavier mortar, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't quite have access right away to some proper diagrams and all that, so my apologies. But the Germans did have some much heavier mortars, which they in fact had copied from the Soviets. 120mm schwerer Mortier, a Granatenwerfer, and a sniper. German one killing a few Americans. German mortar could in fact be counter-mortared. No, the American mortar, and they are both pulling back. Both mortars apparently deciding they don't want to be playing chicken anymore and run away for reinforcements. Grenadiers ready. But again, I mean, this is really where Donatello seems to be falling through. He's not attacking. I mean, he's doing quite some damage to the American commander, but he doesn't follow up to really use that to really pull it through and, of course, do some terrible things. Now, instead, he's investing in the little infantry he has and getting lots of veterancy, instead of, again, trying to get something that could push the advantage, though we are seeing a skirmish phase on the way. Tank traps right there. Noobito apparently expecting to have some armored thrust through there. But again, perhaps Noobito could be a bit sneaky here. Move through here. Of course, cut the wire, and then what you imagine? We'll go for this cutoff point. I mean, surround the opponent. I mean, attack from the angle where he's probably not ready. I mean, he's ready for an attack from here, but cut through here, attack through here, sees the buildings there, and he's probably going to be in a lot more trouble. I mean, that's rather the thing you should be as an American. You should really be doing your best to attack from all angles. Mortar team cleared up, but another one is ready, fortunately. Well, sort of fortunately. I'm pretty sure the mortar team that got killed isn't quite thinking, oh great, we're fortunate, there's another team to replace us immediately. I'm sure they would have preferred to have lived. Americans advancing though, right into the MG42 again, and of course veterancy 1 for the MG42 is worth its weight in gold, if not more, because it increases accuracy and the reload time. I mean, it makes the MG42 that much more lethal. So I mean, it's really nice to have. And the American mortar firing the 60mm, thumping through the skies. Grenadier slightly pulled away. Engineers getting ready to another flank. I mean, at least we're seeing, you know, Noobito trying, but I really think he would be doing all better actually trying to attempt through here and sort of attack through here. Really force Donatello to really shift his defenses away from here, where he's basically thinking, oh, well, I'm sort of safe. I mean, the best way to really shock a German player is to attack him where he feels he's safe, you know. Make him feel, oh, great, I now have to protect another series of fronts, otherwise I'm bollocksed. So things like that can really make a difference. And there we go, making an assault and through here. And of course, that's normally what you actually see American players do against a German player in the south. But no, this time it is the German player. And what is he doing? He's attacking the ground. More specifically, he's burning the wooden fence, thus opening up for an attack right through here where the base defenses don't cover. Sneaky thing to do. And he's perhaps rather getting ready for some sort of assault. German mortar setting up to cover the advance. Pioneers forced to run past the American engineers. A bit of a gauntlet of fire and doom. And rather than extending to MG42 fire, getting sniped a bit as well. Not too happy those Americans. Still, these American riflemen really need to do something a bit more aggressive. A rifleman team has in fact been reformed at the medic station, and well, considering he only has 3 teams all in all. Wait, oh dear, he's forgotten one over there. Noobito, you Noobito. Anyhow, it's time for the mid-game analysis. I mean, this current situation is sort of 2 infantry teams of grenadiers, 2 MG42s, a mortar, 2 pioneer teams with flamethrowers, and a sniper sort of trying something new a bit here, you know, sort of edging up what they actually have. And what, well, I mean, he's sort of holding the 2 victory points. That, of course, is the important thing he's holding. In fact, the same amount of map and territory as the American commander. He's got a nice thing here. He's even perhaps having a small advantage, at least he had, but he's not really pushing it. He's sort of holding back. He's sort of thinking, well, if I'm defensive, I must play completely defensively. I must not attack. And, of course, it's not this sort of thing. And, of course, he is sort of trying something here, but he's not really pushing through. I mean, he could have sent in the grenadiers, perhaps have the mortar cover with the sniper as well, and really push it through, and actually might have some success. But now we are in fact seeing a Panzer command going up, so clearly Donatello is ready. He's done hiding. Of course, this is also part of another strategy, which is basically delaying until you can get some tanks and show that other bastard what it's all about. And of course, interestingly enough, and that's a bit distressing, I mean, Noobito has acted tank depot for quite some time, yet we've not seen a single tank as of yet. I mean, that's, again, you shouldn't build a building and not use it. I mean, if you're building a tank depot, your first priority ought to be getting a tank as damn soon possible. Not waiting. I mean, if he'd gotten a tank a lot earlier, he'd probably been able to really roll up Donatello's defenses. And quickly, let's have a look at Noobito. What does he have? 4 rifleman teams, a mortar, and 2 engineers. I mean, he has a larger infantry force, but Noobito, Donatello does have the things to really keep things tied together. But still, tank depot, use it a lot earlier. I mean, again, if you're getting a tank depot that early, use it. Don't sort of hang about yourself. Well, I'll just wait for the strategic surprise when my opponent has got a lot of anti-tank weaponry, because he must be expecting some sort of armor eventually. So again, don't think like that. Think like that. Okay, I have a tank depot within the first 10 minutes. I believe it was actually around there. Let's use it and get the drop on my opponent, who probably has put a lot into stopping infantry, but not any armor. And in fact, had he gotten that a lot earlier, that'd probably not be a lot to stop him. So let us return to the fight. And we'll be seeing, yes, in fact, the tank depot is flashing up, so we will probably be seeing some armor sort of soon. And another assault getting prepared, although there's a mine right there by Noobito. Sneaking that. But he still needs to be moving through, or is he hoping his mortar to provide something? Engineer setting up there, German mortar firing, and of course having spotted all right there, I imagine. And again, that's because he's gone defensive, and in fact there's an ability to increase the line of sight around your strategic points. Medics getting sniped, American mortar getting ready to fire at the German one, I imagine. Sniper awfully close though. And the German mortar actually moving. That is good. He's actually expecting to get hit by counter-artillery fire. Not a bad idea. And of course, that's something worth remembering for all you new to the game. I mean, if you're using artillery like that, which is on map, you should pretty much always expect it to be hit by counter-artillery fire. There we go. German tank moving in. MG42 hit. Panzers grenadiers in the east. Turn around, Sherman, and the 50 caliber machine gun. Good. But the Sherman needs to actually hit them. Instead, it's not. It's moving about. Not good. Tank moving. And there we go. Moving in. The American assault. The Sherman cleared out. They made you flip for that. Mortar setting up. Rifleman moving in to clear out the infantry, which is proving a threat to the Sherman. That's actually a good move. What we like to see. Oh, they're hitting the mine, suppressing everyone, including the grenadiers. We weren't expecting their mine to go up in their face. Grenadiers now being forced away. And now question is, will Mr. Noobito push the advantage? I mean, he's broken through here. His opponent, as far as you know, probably doesn't have a lot of anti-tank assets, or the Panther is on the way. Probably on lend from the, I don't know, 2nd Panzer Division or the Panzer. But again, you need to push through. You need to get moving, and then sort of wham. I mean, that's sort of, let's just use the Blitzkrieg as an example. That's rather how the Blitzkrieg went. You sort of broke through and then used your Panzers or your tanks to keep pushing back your opponent's defenses, and thus following up with infantry, thus really doing the most damage. And he's sort of, well, I can't do anything about tanks, I have to retreat, that sort of thing. But sadly, I mean, Noobito is getting a bit too passive. He's not using his tank really optimally to really push through and really push back the German defenses. But still good, nice to see he actually supported the tank with some infantry and cleared out the problems to it. Bit of engagement here in the West. Pioneers going out with some riflemen with BARs. Pioneers need to retreat. Well, the Pioneer who survived needs to retreat. He didn't. He tried to retreat, but sadly did not make it. Grenadiers moving in, hoping to get off a Panzer shot, but the Sherman opens up, hitting the garage. The garage taking most of the fire, it seems. MG42 opening up. Riflemen in heavy cover. Mortar firing in support continually. And Panzerkampfwagen moving in. Panzer 5. And there we go, moving in. Sherman is in a bit of trouble. 2nd Sherman though moving in. First one needs to get away. Panzers flying through the air. Germans need to get away. They can't face all those grenadiers with Panzers and the Panther, although they of course can deal a bit better with the grenadiers. Panther advancing. Veterancy 1 already decreasing the damage taken. Sherman is no more. American Panzer is kaput. And let us return to Noobito, who's in a bit of trouble. He's stockpiled a ridiculous amount of munitions. I mean, he could have called in artillery much earlier and done a bit more damage. Oh, fuck, wasn't supposed to be off. I mean, again, if you're having that much munitions, use it either on mines or use it on that damn artillery you've gotten ready, mate. Panzers hitting the tank depot. Panzers flying, but the grenadiers could find themselves very dead as they are getting pinned down by suppressive fire. Sherman moving in to support. Grenadiers need to retreat. There we go. First grenadier team on the run. Panther firing away on the tank depot as well, not moving in to deal with that Sherman. Grenadiers in heavy trouble. Oh dear. Grenadier team is dead. And a Panzerschreck left behind, and the Veterans 1 team, thus gaining more accuracy, of course, with it, is moving in, and that Panther needs to get away. A tank destroyer with M10 Wolverine and a Sherman and some Panzerschreck equipped riflemen. That's going to be a nightmare. Sticky bombs on the way, and the Panther's not pulling away. My goodness, he's actually allowing the riflemen to flank his Panther with a Panzerschreck. Further Panzerschreck grenadiers moving in. Grenadiers getting killed by the Sherman. Sherman Panther trying to keep moving away. Getting hit by Sherman, M10 and Panzerschreck fire. Grenadiers getting suppressed by more suppressive fire from the riflemen. Good usage of suppressive fire. And the Panther is no more. My goodness. And another Grenadier team is dead. That was a pretty poor engagement for Mr. Donatello. He lost a Panther and a Grenadier team and handed his opponent, well, in fact 2 Grenadier teams, and handed his opponent a Panzerschreck. I mean, he also lost an MG42. It seems like that's not really how you want your engagements to go. He probably ought to have pulled that Panther out earlier, or should have knocked out that Sherman. Sadly, did neither, and his Grenadiers should also have been retreated at the same time rather than letting one hang behind while the other got out of there. I mean, this close to the base, you can't just have one infantry team with a Panzerschreck sort of hang about and go, hey, look at us, but we have a shiny Panzerschreck. That's basically begging them to take it from you. Sherman doing quite nicely there, although getting hit by a Panzerschreck. The Grenadiers do not give up, although things are looking a bit grim for Donatello. Having lost that Panther, that was really a huge investment of resources from him. Pioneers getting set up. Grenadiers need to... Oh dear, the Pioneers were lost. And Veterans 2 for these riflemen. Grenadiers need to get out of there quickly. No, for the fatherland won't help you against that. Retreat! Retreat! Oh dear, Donatello lost another Grenadier team. And yes, this is where we're really seeing the noviceness shine through. I mean, really, when all things are collapsing, Donatello really seems to be getting desperate and sort of throwing in a single Grenadier team against all of this and hoping for the fatherland will save him. It clearly didn't. Fresh Grenadier teams arriving. Panzerkampfwagen 4 moving in. Medics pulling back the wounded. Grenadiers covering. German mortar firing. MG42 also setting up. And the M10 flanking in. Panzer 4 moving in. Might get a good shot off. And artillery kind of getting caught in by all of this. Grenadiers and mortar team need to retreat. Oh dear, Grenadiers, get out of there. And in fact, all of the German infantry probably... Oh dear, he didn't retreat the Grenadiers. He hoped they wouldn't get hit. Don't do that. I mean, if you're caught like that, retreat immediately lest you fancy losing your Grenadiers. One shell can kill... Oh dear, Noobito, don't move your troops through. An artillery fire, and looks like the Panzer 4 will also be going out. There we go. No more. Mortar firing still. Medic did not make it back with that last wounded man. It seems killed by the artillery fire. And the German mortar keeps firing, hoping to perhaps knock out that M10 with a final shot. But no, instead it's getting repaired by engineers. German also getting repaired. And now Mr. Noobito has turned the tide. A good assault and rather some poor infantry armor tactics by Donatello. And the fact that he didn't retreat his troops when he should have. Further Grenadiers arriving. How many resources? Is he floating resources? Apparently a bit. Perhaps he's hoping for more armor to save his hide. Then again, he could perhaps go for Flag 88 if he had any pioneers. Just sort of keep the Americans away. Sherman now advances on the medic bunker. And there's absolutely nothing to stop this German. Oh dear. Mortar team is no more. It is kaput. Grenadiers moving in, firing ceaselessly at the side of the Sherman. This is not looking good at all. And our American commander friend has turned things around. Sniper fires away, though apparently he's still alive. And these Grenadiers need to retreat as soon as possible. They cannot hope to stand against this German.
Our forces are taking casualties.
Sniper keeps firing away. 18 killed so far. That's at least a small ray of sunshine in Donatello's and the 91st Luftlande's day.
Enemy unit down.
But the Sherman gets the sniper as well, and now Artillery getting caught in the medic bunker. Grenadiers need to retreat. I mean, I have no idea why he keeps hanging around those Grenadiers right in front of the Sherman. Without a Panzer Shake, they're going to do nothing, and another Panzer IV arriving. Apparently that Panther was the only one they were going to get. And having wasted that, the Oberkommando des Wehrmacht, or des Heeres actually, wouldn't supply them with any further. Oh, it's just the Wehrmacht Heeres for the Eastern Front. Panzer IV moving in. Another TEM-10 has arrived from the base. And the bunker is gone. Not looking good at all for our friend Donatello. Again, that attack right there in the south turned absolutely sour for him and cost him most of his forces. Sticky bomb on the Panzer IV. Damaged engine, oh dear. A Pak 38 now moving in, finally getting some sort of anti-tank assets like that, which could have helped. Grenadiers getting slaughtered, need to retreat. There we go, finally retreating some Grenadiers when they ought to be retreated. And another Sherman is... No, I mean another Panzer IV is gone. The Panzer force is getting slaughtered beneath the list, and brilliant oversight of Donatello. MG42 out in the open. Oh dear, he's sending in a support weapon without anything for it to support. Oh dear, oh dear. Not looking good, and now Pioneers are being sent in towards the west now that the east has utterly collapsed.
Took the objective. Jerry didn't even notice.
Pak 38 sort of pulling back slowly, and of course nothing to really help. In fact, we have a veterancy free Sherman. Pak 38 turns about. MG42 again moving in, and there we go. Pak 38 opening up on the Sherman. Sherman needs to be careful. And Grenadiers hiding in the bunker, but they need to protect the Pak, or will the Pak get the Sherman?
The enemy is down to 300 points.
Grenadiers jumping out of the bunker, moving in to deal with the Sherman. Hit in the rear, and a Panzer Shake shot. Engine is destroyed. Artillery being called in by Noobito, though. Pak 38 could be lost. And the Sherman somehow miraculously makes it out of there. A veterancy free Sherman, which makes it out of this mess, is quite fortunate, I'd say. There's of course that Pak 38 turns about and hits it in the rear. Apparently not. A bit of an opportunity wasted. Grenadiers hoping to get... No, instead they hit the filthy ground. Riflemen covering. Base defenses also blasting away at the riflemen. And the Sherman just keeps killing despite a burning engine. Nothing can stop it. Panzer Shakes just keep missing. This is the heroic Sherman. Just imagine some sort of heroic moving plague right now. This is clearly some sort of Hollywood movie. As the heroes make it... No, wait, no. Never mind that. The Pak 38 finally got it. Haha. Filthy American Panzer. But then again, I'm pretty sure that Donatello shall not be getting back to headquarters without a beating. That was a bit tragic, you know. Almost looked like that Sherman would have gotten out of there, and then BAM! No more. And we are seeing, in fact, an observation post right there. Probably a lot earlier, but a nice move there, in fact. Pack 38 advancing. Grenadiers need to keep it supported and covered. We're seeing something coming out of that. Panzer Command, Donatello apparently calling in upon any whatever few veterans or perhaps just some NCOs. He can scavenge from the survivors and form into an actual combat team. Apparently Donatello is getting rather desperate. He's hoping the Knights Crossbearers can help him. Heroes of the Reich. I'm not even sure those can help him.
We have 200 points.
Grenadiers moving in on their own. Rather than getting stopped by the MG42, suppressed. Pack 38 though exposed, and there we go. Knights Crossholders. Will they save the situation? MG42 covering everything. Pack 38 blasting away. Grenadiers hunting down the M10s. And the Ritterkreuz reporting contact. And the riflemen are simply getting torn apart by the assault rifles of the veterans. 2 Knights Crossholders. Forced away. Oh, come on. He lost another grenadier team like that. Silly of him. I mean, you don't want to be prancing about with a single grenadier team in front of a Sherman. That's just a death sentence for the grenadiers, not the Sherman. And a Panzer IV on the way. This is not looking too well for Mr. Donatello. Things are collapsing faster than he would like. And Noobito has certainly turned the tables. MG42 moving forwards, but getting fired upon by the riflemen with a Panzers and Veterans 2 hiding in their own building. Ritterkreuz advancing. MG42 getting away and getting stopped by the Sherman out in the open. Ritterkreuz need to get to safety. Pack 38 covering them. Run, Ritterkreuz, run! Another Sherman moving in. Oh dear. And hiding on the wrong side. Again, heavy coverage directional. Hide there, that would be doing better. Sherman advances. Panzer IV ready. And more Ritterkreuz on the way. Pack 38 getting hit. We'll be seeing a Panzerfaust rocket from the Ritterkreuz. Yes, there we go. Heroically firing one, hitting the rear armor. And the Panzer IV advances, although the Shermans have been outgunned. Oh dear, those Ritterkreuz are going to die, aren't they? MG42 firing pointlessly at the Sherman, in fact, as it's getting torn apart, and the Panzer IV represents the last-ditch effort, it seems. Getting hit by Panzers and Sherman fire. Pulling back towards the base as further Ritterkreuz are moving in. And another Grenadier team. No, Pack 38, other Ritterkreuz are getting reinforced. And the Ritterkreuz absolutely get mauled out in the negative cover. And they are slaughtered brutally, most tragically in fact. Panzer IV constantly pulling back, no idea why sending in those Grenadiers. Now he's equipping them with dual Panzers, it's sending them right out in the front to get slaughtered like dogs. No. Donatello, you're bound for the Eastern Front, I think. Panzer IV lost. Grenadiers getting massacred. And artillery knocking out what remains of the base. And I think this is it. There we go. Donatello retreats, reporting back for a punishment detail somewhere on the Eastern Front. A victory for the 90th Infantry Division in the face of the 91st Luftlande Division. They fought their best, but it was simply not enough. And of course, what can we learn from this? Well, hopefully novice fight. I think one of the main problems was with Donatello. Partly when he did have the advantage, he didn't push it. He wasn't prepared enough for armor attacks. In a sense, I mean, a lot of Panzers, but he didn't really take care of them. He sort of moved them in, sort of retreat them piecemeal. He's actually lost them a lot more Grenadiers. He sort of sat them waving around right out in the open against the Sherman. Not good. I mean, one thing to note, Veterans 2, which gives elite armor, which protects against small armor fire, does not protect against tank fire. It does not. So he probably made a blunder because of that, but again, don't march about right down in the open. That tends to be less helpful. But again, the Panther probably should have been pulled out earlier, and those grenadiers should have been retreating. I mean, unit preservation was really one of his main problems. He lost a lot of false grenadiers right in the beginning. Grenadiers sort of then suddenly thrown away. And I think was really his main problem. I mean, Donatello had some good ideas, but he just wasn't very good at keeping his units alive. And not really getting the most out of the defense. I mean, he could have gotten a Flag 88 or a Pack 38 at least, but didn't really materialize until everything was falling apart quicker than he could pull it together again. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not subscribe to Luftlande? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.